Good morning, guys. Today is August 30th, 2024. Yesterday was actually a pretty busy day. We had Trump do a speech, which I didn't really get to catch most of it. And he did a small town hall with Tulsi Gabbard, which was pretty short, but it was good. And to top off the night, we had Kamala's first unscripted interview. Unscripted. However, that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to bring up is what I seen on X yesterday was a quick interview. It was like a 1-minute clip of an interview that NBC had with Trump. It was a stand-up interview where they were talking about Amendment 4 coming up in Florida. Now, Amendment 4, I'm sure most of you are aware, Florida right now has a 6-week restriction or term limit on abortions. And Amendment 4, in fancy words, would drastically increase that. It pretty much will, if you beat around the bush, or don't beat around the bush, sorry, and get to the bottom line, it would let you, there would be pretty much no limits. No limits on the term for abortion. Now, what blew up on X yesterday was this 1-minute interview with Trump. I'm going to play it for you in a second. People are pretty much all saying, oh, Trump has changed his stance. He's no longer pro-life. He's going to support Amendment 4. That's not what he said. Not at all. Listen to the interview.
Florida, the state that you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6-week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody.
Now, did you catch that? Listen closely to what he says. I'm going to play it for you again right here.
More weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated for years, 52 years. I got it done. They wanted it to go back to the states. Exceptions are very important for me, for Ronald Reagan, for others that have navigated this very, very interesting and difficult path. Our country's been torn apart by Roe v. Wade for years. And if you go back 10 years, 15 years, all they wanted to do is they wanted it back in the states. They didn't want it to be in the federal government. I was able to do that. I believe in exceptions for life of the mother. If you look, incest, rape.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about.
Now, when he's asked, will you be voting on this? He states, I will be voting for more weeks. I know that's not an option. It's either a yes or a no. However, if you know Trump, and I'm assuming that most of these people that are on X stating that he's changed his views and whatnot, don't know Trump as well as most of us do. In Trump language, that means he's going to try and negotiate that amendment down before they run it through. He'll probably try and go for the 15 weeks, which, let's be honest, that's still too much. But 6 weeks, again, in my point of view, is still too much, unless it's for the 3 exceptions. But I think, honestly speaking, if DeSantis had left this alone and left it at 15 weeks and didn't bring it down to 6 when he wrote it into law last year, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. There would be no Fourth Amendment, There would be no Amendment 4 in Florida. What's going to happen here is Trump is going to try and renegotiate this amendment down. He's probably going to try and bring it down to 15 weeks. If not, if they don't change their stance and they're like, oh, no, it's like, all or nothing, Trump will not vote for that. Anybody who knows Trump knows he will not vote for that. What makes people think that all of a sudden he just changes his position? Trump is every rally. He's out there talking about late term, how it's a terrible thing. There's no way all of a sudden he's gonna be like, oh, okay, well, 6 weeks is too short, so yeah, let's just go with late term. Not gonna happen. Think about this. If Trump ran with all of his policies, and if he ran like the Democrats do with late term, there would be no competition. Trump would win in a landslide. Whether you like Trump or not, he would win so many people over because that's such an important issue on the other side. It would be no question. On the overall scale, he would be looked at like as if he's the perfect candidate. Do I agree with that? No. I'm definitely more on the pro-life stance. People really need to calm down. Remember, this was a stand-up interview with NBC News. We all know what that means. We all know what Trump calls them. They're fake news. I would love to see the minutes leading up to that statement in the interview and the minutes afterwards. I don't know how long this interview was. For all we know, there's maybe another minute of it. But they took a convenient 1-minute part, and it's been spread all around the internet now. If you even just type in on Google, Trump, Amendment 4, Florida, look at the search results. Oh, 6 weeks isn't long enough. 6 weeks isn't long enough. And everything's posted up within the past like 12 to 16 hours. I was trying to research a little bit on Trump's previous stance, before yesterday's little short interview, what he had to say about this. It took me a while to really search it out. And it's the same thing. He has stated that he wasn't making his vote known as of yet. He did feel that Ron DeSantis had made a mistake by going with 6 weeks, that it was going to be viewed as a little too radical right. In no way in the past did he ever state he would vote for this Amendment 4 in Florida. He's not going to, guys. If they don't change their stance on it, he's not going to vote on Amendment 4. He will vote no against it. Trump is pro-life. I know there was a pretty big news cycle yesterday. The Kamala interview, I'm probably not even really going to touch that. That's going to be much bigger YouTubers than me are going to be all over that today. I kind of figured I didn't know how many people were really going to speak about this. I found that this was actually pretty important because I see a lot of voters. I don't know if it's I guess more of a liberal psyop taking place on X, but I see a few people saying, oh, I was going to pinch my nose and vote for him, but now I just can't do that. I'm probably going to investigate into it a little bit and see people that are leaving comments like that, click on their page to see if they've actually been pro-Trump in the past, or if they're totally pro-Kamala or whatnot. It just feels like an opportunity to really try and sway people away from voting for Trump. If anybody listens to that interview clearly, I just played that part for you twice. He never stated, when they asked, are you going to vote for this? He stated, I will vote to get more weeks. He never stated or committed that he will vote yes to Amendment 4 in Florida. Again, this is a news clip that's been taken out of proportion. They've been doing this to him for years. And this should prove to people that the mainstream media takes little clips like this and influences you. I mean, look at the reaction of people on X yesterday to this. It's incredible that people fall for this so easily. Either way, that's all I wanted to bring up, guys. Please do your research on things like this. Don't just let one of these mainstream media news companies put their little clip out and say, oh my Lord, what has Trump done now? Look into it, please. Either way, we got 67 days left before it's time to vote. And as Trump says, this is the most important election in the history of the United States. God bless everybody. See you soon.